Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. We are live on location in Grand Rapids. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. One, two, check 1, 2. Okay, hang on one second. Let me turn those off.
And on the re-sign up for camp page, if they want same week, same site, it's by Wednesday. If they want to stay in council, they have an opportunity on Thursday before it goes live on Friday. I know you couldn't see the slides with the dam last night, so that's.
I was going off of memory entirely.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's working now.
Okay. We're on with the red neckerchief. D bar A, I think.
Oh, okay. So they're basically,
No, you're not allowed to see what you're talking about. fun,
That would be amazing.
overview stuff at the end before questions and answers. So, first and foremost, if you've ever been on one of our webinars, or been to one of our camps, been to one of these programs, you're imagining you've seen this statement before, but as the council's camping leadership, we are dedicated to providing our customers and our guests with a legendary camp service while participating in our life-enhancing year-round outdoor programs. We are committed to providing the facilities, program, services, and camp leadership that will consistently exceed the expectations of our customers and our guests. Our scout camps will be safe havens for experiencing the best of the adventures and values of Scouting America. That is our customer service mission statement that we hammer into all of our camps and all of our camp staff. And to us, we break that down to 5 general categories that we feel if we can knock these out of the park, you guys are going to have a fantastic time at camp this summer. We're going to call it legendary, and we hope that you're going to agree with us. Those 5 categories, if we kind of break them out and look at them in no particular order, first is our staff. We go out of our way and try to find the best camp staff that we can, best camp leadership that we can, to train them consistently and appropriately across all of our camps. Next in line is a strong and scouting-oriented program with strong activities, held up in strong and well-cared-for, purposeful facilities. The last couple points there, food service. You can have a great program at camp if the food's not that great, because you're going to have a bad time. So we want to make sure we put a lot of emphasis on food. And last and foremost, communications. This has been one of our biggest areas of improvement over the last several years. Last year, we kind of retooled our entire pre-camp communications strategy. We're still ironing out some of the details, so thank you for bearing with us on it, but we hope that you guys are noticing the difference. Certainly those of you that are here in the room with us are taking advantage of at least some of that strategy. So thank you for being here, and the big takeaway that I want to have tonight, whether you're online or whether you're here in person, don't leave with any unanswered questions. We have our entire team in the room tonight. We've got our camp directors for 4 of our 5 camps, and me and Andrew are heading to Hiawatha.
Find out.
If you are, hope you enjoy the drive. But I believe everybody here is Lower Peninsula today, if I'm not mistaken. So don't leave with any unanswered questions. And if something comes up on your way home or next week while you're sitting around the table or something, always feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up my counterpart, Andrew Wright, who is our operations director. He gets to talk about all the fun paperwork and administrative stuff that will be in all of our camps this summer. Thanks, you guys.
Well, like Greg said, my name's Andrew Wright. I am the camping operations director for the Michigan Crossroads Council. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about all of the things that have to happen to be prepared to arrive to camp from an administration standpoint. And this is going to be the same regardless of which of our camps you're going to. The first is DHHS Central Registry Clearance. This is going to pertain to anyone from your units who is coming to camp who is over the age of 21. So that is your scoutmaster, any unit leaders, regardless of if they're there part-time or full-time, and then any visitors. So if your parents are going to come visit on family night or grandparents are going to come in, they are required to have clearance from the state of Michigan that there are no issues pertaining to child abuse, etc., to come onto our camps. This is a state of Michigan Department of Lifelong Education Advancement and Potential requirement. That may sound new to some of you in the room. That department is the new department that oversees our camp licenses. Previously, it was under the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Office. So as we talk tonight, or as you're reading paperwork, if you see anything that references LARA, it is interchangeable with MI LEAP, because that department change just happened in the last couple of months. So like I said, this is a state of Michigan requirement for every child care camp. Why is that important? Because there are a couple hundred camps that fall under child care camps in the state of Michigan that all require this. And so in your packets, and for those of you that are joining us virtually, on the web page for your registration, under the attachments heading, any paperwork that I referenced tonight is also available there. So those of you that are in the room, if you're looking for a digital copy, log into your registration, look at attachments, and everything that's a hard copy in your packet or that we speak about tonight is also available for download there. But in your packet or under that attachments heading is the form that you will need to fill out and have anyone else fill out that is coming to camp and turn in to receive back your central registry clearance letter saying that you are cleared to be around children at a child care camp. The sooner you do that, the faster you'll get it back. As you get closer to the start of summer camp, everyone is trying to put them in for all of these camps that are non-scout camps and scout camps alike in the state. And so the processing time becomes slower the closer you get to camp. This is free of charge. There's no cost to do this. The best way to do this is by email. They have an email inbox, and then they will email it back to you so that you can print off hard copies. Please do not have your letters mailed to camp. They will not be there when you get there. And please do not email them to camp because they will not be there when you get there. And then please print off a hard copy to bring with you to camp. That is the state of Michigan's requirement. We have to maintain hard copies of those per our camp license. Do you have a question? Yes, I confirmed that last week. So the email address that's on that form is still an active inbox to accept those right now. Yep.
Don't you have to be 18 and over?
No, the requirement from the state of Michigan is not 18 and over, it's 21 and over. The asterisk there is for our camp staff, and so our camp staff have to all be cleared regardless of age. But for your adult leadership coming to camp, it's 21 and over is the requirement. Okay?
I just did mine 10 days ago. It took 3 days on each one.
Yeah.
I do an email, 3 days later, I have an email.
Yep.
So it's, I'm going to roll it now, probably good time.
So in the past, if you've camped with us and maybe you haven't been in the last couple of years, once you had a clearance letter, that clearance letter was good basically forever, and that is no longer the case. We can only accept letters that are dated within the current calendar year. That was a change, I believe, last year. It may be 2 years ago now. And so when you have your clearance letter from the state, it has to be from this calendar year. That clearance check has to have been ran this year, and the letter has to be dated for this year in order for us to accept it and allow you onto camp property. So any previous letters that you've had, unless you've requested one after January 1st of this year, those letters are null and void, and you'll need to get a new one. If you are an out-of-state participant, I don't think we have any of those in the room, but we may have some online. Oh, we do have, okay. So we have a couple in the room, we may have some online. So out-of-state participants that are coming into Michigan have to get their state's equivalent of the DHHS Central Registry background check.
In addition to?
Nope, instead of. So not in addition to, but instead of. And if you need help in navigating that, please reach out to your camp director. They can work with you in the state of Michigan to get you to the correct department in your state to get that taken care of. All right. Next, I want to cover special dietary needs. We want to make sure that campers that are coming to camp are taken care of in that food department. Greg alluded to the fact that food service is one of our pillars of legendary camp service that we focus on. We probably have some individuals in the room that have gone to camp, they have a special dietary need, and they get to camp, and it's a black bean burger for lunch, and it's a black bean burger for dinner, and it's a vegetarian sausage patty every morning for breakfast. That is not what we want to do. We have worked extremely hard with our food service providers to ensure that you get what the equivalent would be. And we have also worked in our menu development so that we can avoid a lot of those options. So if you're gluten-free and it's a hot dog day, you're going to get a gluten-free hot dog bun. If it's a hamburger day, you're going to get a gluten-free hamburger bun. If there's a dinner roll with dinner, you're going to get a gluten-free dinner roll, not a defrosted hamburger bun in place of the dinner roll, okay? We've looked at things in the way of halal and making sure that things like our hot dogs are all beef hot dogs so that we don't have to prepare additional separate meals and we can still serve everyone. So we've done a lot of work with our food service providers to make that happen. In case you forgot, your final payments are due the end of this week for summer camp. And one of the things that is going to prevent you from making that payment is if you don't have this dietary restrictions box filled out on your registration. It is a required field. We do that on purpose to ensure that we're collecting those dietary restrictions. If they don't have any, simply put no or none or not applicable or NA. You just have to put something in that box. Our system filters out what they call those no response answers. Okay? The second thing we ask you to do, in addition to putting it on your registration so that we can export that and share it with our food service director, is at least 2 weeks prior to coming to camp, please give camp a call, especially if you have some sort of significant or very specialized dietary restriction, so that you can speak with our food service director at that camp. And they can talk you through nutritional items, menu design, etc. We want to take the time to do that so that if there is something specialized that we may need to source, we have time to do that before you get to camp. In some instances, we understand that there are some very extreme food allergies. We may not be able to accommodate all of those. And so in that instance, we ask that you work with your camp director, and you may need to bring some additional food with you to camp. We will provide you with cooler and freezer and shelf space if that needs to happen. All of our kitchens are set up with designated areas for special dietary foods so that there's no cross-contamination. All of our kitchens have different prep areas that are specific for special dietary needs. Obviously, if you're doing patrol cooking at Cole or Hiawatha, you're going to need to watch that in your campsite as well. But all of it's packed separately, so we do everything we can to make sure that your food experience is a positive one. Please know that we do have a policy in the Michigan Crossroads Council that to qualify as a special dietary need, it has to be a food allergy, it has to be based on a medical condition, or it has to be based on a religious principle. Okay? The reason is because you get scouts that come to camp and I only eat chicken nuggets. Good for you, not here you don't, okay? Our kitchens are designed to feed mass numbers of people, and so we need to make sure that when we're putting our focus into those folks that require a special diet, it's because it falls into one of these three categories. So please, when you're working with your scouts and when you're having conversations with the camp, that we can take care of that for you. Next, I'd like to talk about pre-camp swim checks. Anyone that has come to camp and gone through the check-in process knows that typically your swim check is part of that check-in process, and it's usually one of the most lengthiest pieces of that check-in process. So one of the things that we have done in the Michigan Crossroads Council is we've worked with our Risk Management Committee and our Aquatics Committee to be able to have a platform for units to conduct swim tests prior to coming to camp. There are not any council-sponsored swim test days this year, but you can do those at a unit level if you wish to do so. The first thing you'll need to do is go to our webpage, michiganscouting.org/aquatics-committee, okay? And I'll give you a chance to write that down if you want. Again, michiganscouting.org/aquatics-committee. On that page, there will be 2 application buttons. The first application button is for the unit to apply to host a pre-camp swim check. You'll fill out where you're going to do it. So is it a YMCA pool? Is it a swim station at a state park, right? Basically, we're looking to make sure that you're not doing it in Grandpa Joe's backyard pool that him and his dad dug in the early 60s, okay? The second thing you'll need to do is list who is the person that is going to administer that swim test, okay? That person has to be approved, which is where the second application comes in. If you have someone that you have worked with in the past through this process, which has been in place for about 4 years, who has already been approved as a swim test administrator, you're going to get a response back from our aquatics committee chair, his name is Matt, letting you know that you are approved to do your pre-camp swim test. And here is the form, which is specifically coded to your unit for this year, that you will need to have filled out when you complete that test. If you list someone that is not an approved swim check administrator, they will need to fill out that second application to become a MCC-approved administrator of swim tests. What does that mean? It means it's typically a person that holds a lifeguard certification or a water safety instructor certification or a pool director or pool operator certification that knows and understands what we are looking for when it comes to administering a swim test, okay? They know and ensure that they're swimming the full 100 yards, that they're doing 75 yards of it with a powerful front stroke, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very easy process. Very, very rarely do we turn anyone away. I probably see about 8 swim check administrator emails through the application come in every week. And then those approvals, usually within 3 to 4 days, Matt is on top of getting those back out to you. Like I said, you will receive a form that is coded to your unit. That is the form that will need to be filled out and signed when the swim test is completed, and you will bring that form with you to camp. And you will be then using that form, you'll be handed your buddy tags to use for the week. There's an asterisk there in that in the Michigan Crossroads Council, we do reserve the right to retest if we feel that there's a safety concern. A lot of scouts that may not be the strongest of swimmers can pass a swim test in a pool because they can see the bottom of the pool. None of our camps have a pool. They all have lakes. And so when you jump into a lake, you can't see the bottom, or something icky touches your foot, and it freaks you out, and you're not being a non-strong swimmer, there can be a safety concern. In those instances, we will reserve the right to retest and reclassify, because we have to make sure that the swimmers that are in the lake, youth and adult alike, are safe to be out there. If you forget to bring your form with you, you will need to do your swim test at camp. So that is the pre-camp swim check process. Next, the all glorious paperwork. If you've ever gone anywhere for camp, whether it's scout camp or not, there is a bunch of paperwork that comes with going to camp. So don't leave home without it is the key point here. We've broken this down into 3 different areas: youth forms, adult forms, and unit forms. On your registration page, under the attachments heading, there is a downloadable paperwork to bring to camp checklist, which has all of this stuff listed on it. What are those things? For youth, it is the BSA health form, parts A, B, and C, and the immunization exemption if applicable. So if you have a family that does not immunize for religious or personal reasons, there's an immunization exemption form that they will need to fill out and include with their health form when they come to camp. There is a camper release form for those units that are going to Camp Rotary. The reason for that is because of the distance in between their health lodge and their camp office. The camper release is on the health form, which at all of our other camps is either in the exact same building or right adjacent to the camp office to check someone out of camp. At Rotary, the office is in the front of camp and the health lodge is in the back of camp. And so to speed up that process, the campers that go to Camp Rotary have a separate camper release form. On the health form or on the camper release form, regardless of whatever camp you're going to, you will need to make sure that anyone that may pick up a child from camp is listed. That includes a parent. Outside of the unit leader who physically brought the scout to camp and the parent or guardian who signed the form, we will not release a camper to anyone that is not also listed on that form. Okay? Additionally, let any of your parents or anyone that may be picking one of your campers up early know that they will need to bring in a copy of their photo ID that we will need to make a copy of to release the camper to them before they leave camp. That is a state of Michigan requirement that went into effect last year. Okay? So do those things to help make checking someone out of camp early a lot smoother and a lot easier. Lastly is the prerequisite verification slip. Regardless of what camp you're going to, there is a camp-specific one in your packet, as well as available for download under that attachments heading. If you have scouts that are coming to camp that are required to have a prerequisite done for a merit badge, they will need to have one slip per merit badge verifying that those have been completed. That is up to your unit as to how you want to administer that. You'll see right on the form, the unit leader needs to verify that those prerequisites were done with a merit badge counselor, or the merit badge counselor can sign that prerequisite slip and certify that that prerequisite was done. The asterisk is if the scout physically brings the prerequisite with them to camp. So something like coin collecting merit badge, if they bring their coin collection with them to camp, instead of the prerequisite form, they have the physical prerequisite with them, then that is acceptable. We want to make sure that scouts that are earning advancement at camp are actually earning that advancement. We've had lots of issues with the past. On Thursday, hey, Mr. Scoutmaster, I forgot my prerequisite. Can you sign this napkin while we're sitting here at the dining hall table, and then I can take it to class so I can pass my merit badge. It happened all the time. And so we instituted this last year, and we're going to continue to use this as we move into the future to ensure that our scouts are actually fulfilling the requirements that we're asking them to fulfill as part of that merit badge program. Moving on to your adult leader required forms, again, they also need that health form, parts A, B, and C, regardless of how long they're going to be in camp, and the immunization exemption if applicable. They will need to have proof of BSA membership, specifically with the unit they are attending camp with. So if your primary unit is Unit 1, but you are attending camp with Unit number 5, you have to dual register with Unit 5 and be able to show proof of membership with Unit 5 to attend camp with Unit 5. That is a new national requirement as of last year. So you have to be registered with the unit you're attending camp with. And then you have to provide proof of that registration. What most units will do is they will print their roster out of Scout Book, which is perfectly acceptable, or they make copies of the membership cards and they bring those copies of the membership cards with them to camp. Additionally, we have to have proof of youth protection training completion. Again, that can be a printout out of Scout Book with the expiration dates, or that can be a physical copy of the certificate that they receive when they complete that youth protection training. And then that DHHS Central Registry Clearance Letter this year dated for 2025. That is what we need for every adult that is coming into camp that will be overnighting with us. And then unit forms, again in your packet, but also downloadable and form fillable, is the Michigan Crossroads Council unit roster. That is the roster that you have to fill out with who is physically coming to camp with you. So if you have scouts that were signed up, but they got sick, they're staying home, obviously they're not going to show up on the roster of who is in camp with you. You have to fill out that roster. If you show up to camp without that roster, you have to fill it out in the parking lot, which slows down your check-in time. And then we take your roster of who is physically at camp with you, we compare it against your registration, make sure everyone's there. If someone's not there, because we have to verify with the state if there's a scout that's supposed to be in camp and isn't. So we take that physical roster. A lot of units fill it out either the meeting immediately before they leave or in the parking lot the morning that they leave, and we compare that to your registration at check-in time. That way, if there are any refunds owed because of medical, et cetera, we can take care and start processing that on Sunday versus keeping you there held up when you're trying to leave on Saturday. If you are an out-of-council unit, so a non-Michigan Crossroads Council unit that is attending one of our camps, you will need a copy of your council's accident insurance. Just call the council office. They can provide that to you. Every council in the U.S. is used to doing that. If you completed that pre-camp swim check, bring that verification form with you and bring with you to camp. They're available to you through your registration under the reporting tab. The first is a merit badge schedule for your scouts. It prints out one per scout so that they know where they're supposed to go, because a lot of times they don't. And we will not print them out for you. So if that is something you want to utilize, then please utilize that report. The other three reports that are helpful to you as a unit leader is the scout report, which prints out basically the same thing that you give to the scout. It's on a different format, so you can see all of your scouts and all of the classes they're taking and what time they're taking them. That's the first report that is helpful to a unit leader. The second report is the class summary report. It lists all of the classes that are being taken by your scouts in column 1, what scouts are taking them in column 2. So when you're looking at paperwork at the end of the week, you know that you should have X number of scouts having earned or received a partial in X number of merit badges. And then the third is the period summary report. I find that one the most helpful from a leadership position because it says, okay, from 9 to 10, here is all of my scouts and where they're supposed to be. Those are all available to you on your registration. I encourage you to take a look at them and consider printing them and bringing them with you to camp to make your life a lot easier as you manage your unit while they are in camp with you and us. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Greg to talk about some future planning because you'll have some opportunities to take advantage of some early sign-up incentives, et cetera, while you're physically at camp this year. So, Greg, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thanks a lot. So, as we kind of start to transition towards the breakout part of the meetings, I do want to take a little bit of time to chat about 2026. It's never too early to start planning. In fact, we're already working on 2026 right now. So, where we're at right now is kind of finalizing next year's schedule and things like that. We're going to have that announced publicly no later than June 1st. And what that's going to enable us to do is start accepting registrations for 2026 at camp this year. So if you go to camp and you like the camp you're at, you like the campsite you're at, Wednesday of the week you're at camp, you're going to have an opportunity to go up to the office and register for next year. You get the same campsite, you get the same week, you get the same camp. Register on Wednesday, you kind of get that priority. Suppose you're interested in checking out a different MCC camp next year, or maybe a different week at the same camp, you can start that process on Thursday.
Friday at 8 a.m.
Friday at 8 a.m., it goes totally covered. So if you want to get into a different week, say you were going to quit camp week 4 and you want to go to week 1 or something like that, Saturday of week or Friday of week 1, 8 a.m. is when that goes public live. So if you want to keep your same week, keep your same campsite, things like that, make sure you get in on Wednesday or Thursday respectively, so that somebody can come in and
Is
like
that
that.
one online? Did everyone online?
And like I said, $200 deposit, due at that time. We will be running some incentives again, like we have in the past. So that will likely be a December 1st deadline again. More than likely going to be 3 liters. So if you can register before December 1st, you get a couple 3 liters, similar to how we did this year. December 1. After December 1, no incentives. I think I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but maybe I'm not. All of our camps are open year-round for all sorts of activities. If you can think of it as something we do at summer camp, we're more than happy to run that for you guys on a year-round basis. Get with your camp directors, and you can schedule programs out. We ask for as much notice as possible because it is something that we have to get staff together for. But whether you want to go up to Cole and do an ATV weekend or a river weekend, if you want to utilize the Coke course at Rotary, or Gerber, or Civic BSA, this is all available to you guys year-round. Get with your camp directors, and we'll make it happen. Camping as an MCC unit, you get free tent site rental at any of our camps. Those of you traveling from out of state, they're still available to you. They're very affordable. They're just not free. And cabin rentals. Want to bring your family that's not scouts out to camp. Maybe you want to bring a group of coworkers, or maybe you've got a special event coming up that you want to celebrate at one of our camps. All of our camps, including this one, are available to general public rental, non-scouting use. We have a entire division of the council called Mitten Adventures that coordinates all of that stuff. You can find them online at mittenoutdoors.com, or if you'd like to reach out to one of your camp directors, they're happy to start the process as well. I'm going to tell you guys I'm looking at doing a wedding out at one of our camps here next year, and down the road, why not give us a shot? At this time, for me and Andrew, before we turn it over to Cheryl, do you guys have any questions on anything we've covered so far tonight? Yes, sir.
Just going back to the DHS forums, since I'm from Indiana,
Yeah.
can we do the Michigan ones, or do you?
You can do the Michigan one, but it won't do you any good. So, if you do the Michigan one, you will just basically automatically be cleared in Michigan. Chances are you don't get cleared.
You guys
So,
want the Indiana?
we need the Indiana. Yeah, and if you have just full time for the planning director, Indiana's pretty common for us. Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, we kind of have those in the back of our So, any other questions?
We'll see you
Great.
around.
Well, again, for my
Thanks.
desk, thank you folks for being here tonight. We're going to have a couple moments of chaos as we transition towards our breakouts. But if you're here for Camp Rotary, you're going to stay right here in this room. If you're here for full canoe base, you're going to go over to room 203, which is right over here next to the full canoe base banner. And if you're joining us at Gerber or DRA this summer, you're going to be downstairs in the main lobby where you checked in. Thanks again for being here tonight, guys.
Officer will go through their health forms real quick to give them the once-over. They will get their wristband and then wait there until the driver and passenger, whoever helps them, gets back before they can proceed in the check-in process. We ask that you have all of your paperwork together by paper. Generally ask that the keeper of the papers has them. They will go up to our registration table. The scouts will file a line and give them their health forms. Adults behind them, then they will go through their health checks while the keeper of the papers is going through making sure you have everything there. I know Andrew referenced and go through it, because if you do not have everything ready when you get to the table, we will ask you to step off to the side for 20 minutes trying to find all your paperwork. It just makes it a lot easier for everyone. When we check out back to check-in, after you get everything gone through, your unit host will take you and do some of our safety videos, our dining hall orientation, and then they will take you to do swim checks if you need them, so it's a good idea to have your scouts have their swimsuits on under their uniform or in a day pack close accessible, because you won't go to your campsite before you do swim checks. Then the host will take you to the campsite, help you get started settling in. If you're a new unit to camp, you can ask your host and they will give you a tour just to help you get a little oriented to things. Saturday checkout, once your unit is completely ready to go, they will get their checkout package, which will have their patches, anything else. I know the archery kids make an arrow, and we put those in the packets instead of giving them to the kids right afterwards. We learned our lesson. You will have paperwork that shows what your kids completed or did not complete. And if you see a mistake right then and there, you can talk to one of our program directors and they will see where the miscommunication was. Medical rechecks, we have our health forms, A, B, and C, signed by a doctor, nurse practitioner, whatever. The health officer will go through that form, double checking, do you have any allergies? Are you allergic to bees? Yes, I am. Where's your EpiPen? Nope, you keep it in your pocket at all times, or in your day bag. Asthma inhaler, where's your inhaler? I don't know. Did you bring one? I don't know. We will ask that you have that on your person at all times. Our schedule is, I think it is posted on our page. I'll have to double check if it's not. It is in the leader guide. They updated it, so if you downloaded it weeks ago, you will have to delete it and re-download it in order to get the updates. That'll have our daily schedule starting with Sunday check-in times, event times, merit badge times, anything that we do. This year is Camp Rotary's 100th birthday. We are celebrating all summer long. New climbing tower, which should be done May 14th. And then zip lining in the dark. It's $15 a person. You register, and then the chance to climb and zip in the dark. That program usually fills up. So if you want to get in and you haven't, it's a good idea to register beforehand. If there are any spots, and you may have the option to sign up then. Packing lists. Because we are a dining hall camp, you do not need your full stove setup, but some units want to because they'll do a Cracker Barrel in their campsite. They'll have a Dutch oven. Some of the leaders think they need coffee the minute they step out of their tent. So that is up to you, but it is not needed for us. Personal gear, most of your scouts should know what to take and bring, but if you have newer scouts, it's a good idea to ask them, did you pack a tent? Did you pack a sleeping bag? Clothes? And if you get the, oh, I don't know, mom packed for me, I would sit down and have a good talk with them that they need to know what to bring. I got one just like that at home, and it's theirs. So we want to try to have everything, the kids know what they bring. Chris is gone. Oh, any questions from our online person? No. Is it you? Oh, okay. No questions? I'm asking. I'm all set. Okay. Then I'll just go talk to this gentleman. Okay. Makes it a little bit easier.